Hey everybody, it's Joe Roberts from The Normal Outdoors. I'd like to thank you for tuning into my video. And if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button down below. When I started filming my hunts, I never intended to be a personality. I'm pretty bad at talking to camera, to be very honest. I film because I enjoy seeing my personal hunts over and over again and sharing my experiences with people that might not get a chance to be in the outdoors as much as I am. As my channel has grown and the praise has came from friends and family and now thousands of strangers, I have realized I have a responsibility to show the realities that come with bow hunting. Bow hunting is hard. Not just physically tasking, but mentally as well. You take time off work, leave your family at home, and come back worn out and empty-handed time and time again. Most days it's out of your control. The deer didn't cooperate. Then, when you do get an opportunity, and that opportunity goes wrong, all the guilt from being away from home intensifies. I have had that happen to me again and again this year. Not one miss, not two misses, but 3 misses by the time mid-November rolled around. It has been my best year of hunting and my worst year of killing. After seeing my arrows fly high into the left at deer 3 times in a row, I finally decided I needed to bear shaft some arrows again and make sure things were the same as they were when I tuned my bow this summer. While bear shafting, I noticed no matter how I moved my rest or sight, the bear shafts were still consistently flying high and to the left. My friend Adley came by while I was doing this, and together as we inspected my bow, we noticed my cam was bent. I'm not sure how or when it happened, but at this point that didn't matter. It was the first week of November and I needed a bow. Luckily, I'm nuts about archery, and so I got my PSE Phenom target bow out of its case for a backup. I put on a cheap sight and a whisker biscuit, tuned it as best as I could with bear shafts at 20 yards and sighted it in. It's blue, so I bought some camo wrap and got back into the woods. I had a couple rough all-day sits staring at the spots I had missed deer days before. And then, on the 12th of November, I began hunting a property I had permission to for a week. My dad's best friend Todd came up from North Carolina to hunt with his grandson Jacob, and he had asked 2 of his childhood friends if he could hunt with me and Jake on their property for a short period during the rut. The first night we got in late, around 3:30, and I still got eyes on a few deer. I spotted a scrape near my tree and observed trails that crossed under my tree as well. I decided to leave my stuff in the tree and hunt there in the morning. The next morning was the beginning of the craziest hunt I've ever experienced. I saw doe after doe, buck after buck chasing and cruising. Eventually, around 9 o'clock, I spotted a buck straight west of me. I got my camera turned on and my bow in my hand, and I knew if the buck turned to my left, I would have about a 10 to 15 yard shot. He did just that. I drew my bow, centered my top 20-yard pin behind his shoulder, and squeezed the trigger. He ducked, and the arrow soared over his back. This time it was me, and I knew it. I had no excuses other than I just hadn't practiced enough with that bow. I should have aimed lower because he was closer. Another buck. Another miss.
I've only been shooting it for about a week. That first buck that came in, I shot right over its back. I mean, I had the 20-yard pin on him. He ducked a little bit.
This was my season. It was laughable at this point. I had until 1 in the afternoon to hunt. I tried to compose myself and focus back on the present rather than the past. As I was looking at the footage of the buck I had just missed, focusing on the past, a buck snuck up behind me. I tried to get everything turned on and turned around with my bow, but he spotted me and trotted off before I could even get any footage. Half an hour later, a coyote was on the trail that the buck I had just missed had come up. I tried to call him in, and he eventually spotted me in the tree as well, turned, and trotted off. At this point, I didn't think anything good would happen the rest of the day. But during the rut, your luck can change in a split second, and that's just what happened. Another half an hour after the coyote left again, that trail had a buck approaching my tree. Don't screw this up again was the only thought running through my head. I knew what I had to do if he took the same path as the last buck, but what if he came underneath me? He walked right under me. I drew my bow, swung over my bridge and in between limbs, all in one motion. Centered the pin on his spine and pulled the trigger. I was trying to sever his spine and drop him on the spot. but my arrow narrowly missed. Still, he mule kicked, and it looked like I had got something important. I tried to watch his path as he ran off, but I lost sight of him after about 70 yards.
It finally worked out. I'm just hoping he passes quick and I can find him here in a second.
I sat another hour and then got down to look for blood. There was none. I knew I hit him. I grid searched for a blood trail with Jacob, and he eventually found the broadhead side of my arrow broken off near the point of impact. That's all we found. The arrow was bloody, but it had no smell. It wasn't guts. After contacting the neighbor, she got me in touch with her land manager, and he agreed to help me look in the morning. In the meantime, I was also in conversation with a dog tracker, and he was afraid that I had hit one lung and the deer may never be recovered. The next morning, we tried searching again and eventually ended up spotting the buck dead in a creek 450 yards from where I had shot him. I had help from the neighbor this morning. We walked this creek and finally found him. No blood trail until he hit the creek, and pretty amazing story. It's just starting to rain now too, so we're gonna get him out of here and get him gutted, see what I hit. He's got chips in his antlers there still from making a rub.
Yeah, he broke his G4 on that side. We found him in the creek right over here.
Bow hunting has extreme highs and the lowest of lows. The night before I recovered this buck, I wanted to quit bow hunting altogether. I wanted to give up filming, and I wanted to run from the fear of failure. Faith in myself as a hunter had dissolved. But I don't run from fear of failure. I don't give up. That's not me. But that's exactly where this season put my state of mind. I've got nothing to prove to anyone. I just wanted to prove to myself, again, that my time is worth every second in the woods. It had been rough for a few weeks up until finding that buck. As hard as it was, I kept the faith and kept getting back into the woods. Whether it was fate or luck in the end, I will forever be grateful it worked out exactly the way it did. I will be better because of this.
Huh?
Good? You think he'll taste good?
But what's the spot that you killed him?
Well, I shot him right there through the back. See that?
Oh yeah, I see.
He was straight underneath me.
What?
Yep.
Here's the entry hole on the left side of his spine. Exits right there through his ribs.